New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
Let's get into Poku, because
All right,
Poku is a guy.
If he doesn't go
has
high,
been
I see the
interesting.
Spurs taking him.
Yeah, so Poku basically he originally gets like pegged as this unicorn, right? He's super young for the class. He's still 17, I think, or like if he turned 18, it was extremely recent. So super young. He's basically my age. He's 7 feet tall. He moves like no one I've ever seen before, like so fluid. I have a clip on my Twitter of him like sliding with the guard at half court and then flipping his hips, opening up back to the center of the floor and swatting his layup attempt at the rim. And it was just mesmerizing. Like that's the stuff that I'm like, whoa, I've never ever seen that before. Defensively, like he's super skinny. He's like, if you think Porzingis was skinny, Poku is even skinnier. Like he gets bullied by people that have no business playing on the same basketball court as him just from a skill perspective. But defensively, he's really interesting as like an event creator, right? Like he's super anticipatory. He's lengthy, he's quick. So they result in some like freakish steals and blocks, but he is kind of prone to gamble and his motor isn't always running. So like, I'm going to be really interested to see what he looks like as a defender when he gets to the league. Cause like, it's kind of a boom or bust possession from him on defense. Either he makes a crazy highlight play or he gets caught sleeping and gets backdoor. Like those like team defense struck. But again, he's super young and like he's kind of all over the place right now as a basketball player. Offensively is really where it's like, whoa, like what did I just see there? He can he can legitimately handle the ball, not like a point center because those guys don't exist, but like he can run off of a pin down, he can run off a dribble handoff, he can attack closeouts, he can make live drill passes with both hands.
7 feet.
Yeah, 7 feet tall. Like he just does some wicked stuff. Like I was watching a game the other day and like you remember those like touch passes in transition, like I'm trying to think who like used to like mass him, but it's like it'll literally just be like a tap. Like he did like a little tap pass behind his head. Like I was like, what the hell? Like I don't.
Okay.
I mean,
Joker.
I wanted to post the clip on Twitter so bad, but like someone gave me access to the games confidentially and said, don't let anyone know you're watching these. So that one's saved on my computer in all caps. I'm like, one day I'm gonna get it is like seriously.
Send that to me. I won't show nobody.
All right. I'll drop it to you on Twitter. But basically like it is one of the wildest clips I've seen. And it just like those little flashes, it's like, okay, like these aren't like flashes of like, okay, he can maybe do that, he can maybe do this. These are flashes of like brilliance. And it's like, yes, is there a chance that his frame just never holds up and he can't gain traction? And for me, the biggest concern is the shooting because his entire offensive game is basically predicated around him being super tall and super like coordinated on the perimeter. And the percentages haven't necessarily been there and the mechanics are a little bit inconsistent when you watch. Like it's fluid. He gets up and he gets great elevation. It's smooth. It's one motion, but the finish, like sometimes his wrist flares a little bit in, sometimes flares a little bit out, sometimes it's in finish. It's not a polished product. However, if the percentages are there and we're talking about shooting protection, like I really value volume and versatility.
Right.
And he has both of those. Like he takes a lot of them and he takes a lot of hard threes. So I think there's definitely room for him to grow as a shooter. The turning point for me as an evaluator when I really start to get him is instead of looking at him as this like unicorn 5, because I was like, he's going to get bullied by any center if he's a 5. Like he can't hold up. He just can't hold up. Yeah. So instead of looking at him as this unicorn center, I started to like look at him through the lens of being a modern 4, right? Like just a bigger modern 4, because I believe that he's going to have no issues sliding on the perimeter. Like that's not going to be an issue for him. And as the modern 4, he won't have the responsibilities of like being in all the actions. He can kind of be like that corner weak side guy. Where he can really leverage like the event creation. He can come in for a weak side block. He can rotate for a crazy steal. Like I think him being a 4 kind of benefits him on both ends of the floor. He's a high. I mean, everyone says he's a high risk, high reward. I don't even think he's that high of a risk, to be honest. Like really? I think he's too good at too many things on the basketball court to like not stick. Whether he is this crazy star, that's to be determined. But I think he finds a way in the league. I really do.
So when if you're going to lean on a certain skill in this for him, it would be what his Well, his well, not I guess it wouldn't be his defense. Would it?
I mean, I hate to say it, it's got to be movement. Like it's got to be movement and coordination at 7 feet tall, because it's just that outlier that I've never seen anything like it before, and it's evident within one game. It's like, hold on,
Okay,
what did he just do? And he has the skills and like ambitious wiring to go along with that make it so useful. Like, he's comfortable attacking closeouts and throwing passes. He's comfortable getting into the lane and tossing up like crazy floaters. He's comfortable taking pull-up jumpers. So he's not like, he is really wild as a player. Like, he's out there, he's willing to try new things. And this coordination and movement skills, like, all they do is enable him to pull them off and like utilize these skills and maximize them in terms of impact on the court. So like, I hate to say movement because it's not like a basketball skill, like, right, passing, shooting, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But the movement is really what unlocks like everything about his game, and that's where the appeal comes from.
I see the appeal. That's what it scares me though to take him that high, only because I feel like because there isn't I don't know what's going to translate right away thing. It makes me.
Oh, I've always, I mean, Spencer wants the Knicks to take him. We've talked about it. I'm a little bit less cautious because we don't really, I mean, we don't really have anyone right now. So like, and over the past 7 years, I haven't seen much that shows I should really trust our player development staff.
And now the other thing I was about to get into is like, to me, it seems like with this guy, we're going to have to give him some time. Now,
100% have to give him some time.
Looks like we're going all in on player development for the first time. We brought in these new guys. We got I forgot the gentleman's name from Utah who trained Dame Dollars and Paul Millsap and Donovan Mitchell, and so maybe it'll be different this time. Who knows? But
I mean, listen, if you trust your player development staff, and everyone always says if you trust your strength and conditioning, you have to take him. Like, dudes are just skinny. Like Porzingis is a perfect example. His frame is skinny. Porzingis is never going to be jacked. Does that mean he can't be good on the basketball court? No, not at all. To me, it's, do you trust your development? And do you trust that you're going to be able to hone in on what makes him great and kind of eliminate all the bullshit that like makes him this wild guy. I don't picture him being anything other than like a frail 7-footer, right? At any point during his career, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, like I can see an injury coming, man. I can see Unicorn Part 2 with the AC. I can see it.
Hey, man,
it scares me.
I'm not qualified enough to speak on injuries, but what I will say is like that dude has a special array of skills that it's intriguing. It's intriguing.
All right. I'll leave it at that. I definitely seen Spencer really tout.
Oh, dude, Spencer loves that, man. Spencer
loves
some Poku, man.
Yeah,
he's a Poku man for real.
100%.
Remember too, KP's injury came because he was carrying a heavy load. Like, at least like there are a few more pieces that he won't have to like exert himself as much as KD did. So
yeah. I mean, also, when you're 7 feet tall and your frame, and then when you're 7 feet tall, moving like that, it's just so alien.
I mean, he's an anomaly. Like,
exactly.
Just being honest, I've never seen anything like that, and it's just people are gonna be like, "Whoa!" Like that dude he's something different.
Exactly, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. You just don't.
No idea.
You just don't know what's gonna happen. So it's like, all right. I mean, I'm not as high as you and Spencer, but I do recognize the potential there.
Yeah, I mean, I still have him. He's still at like 10 or 11 for me because the part that I can't buy into him as an offensive player because I don't know where the shooting nets out. Like, if he's not a good shooter, it's going to be really tough for him on offense because he's not necessarily beating guys off the bounce. The passing value comes with him as a movement shooter and like bending defenses and drawing closeouts and going from there. He's not sizing dudes up and he's not running a pick and roll. So if he can't shoot and he's not demanding closeouts and he's not demanding hard coverages at the 3-point line, I think you could really see him having a tough time on offense. And then with that, like, there's still questions on defense. Is he going to be able to clean up his decision making? Is he going to go for good gambles? Like, he has a lot of bad gambles, And look, he's 18 years old. I try not to say that about a lot of guys because everyone is super young in the draft. But he's basically like a full year behind all the top prospects, which is definitely noteworthy.
Exactly.
He's just kind of like, he's a super interesting case study. I can't, that's like the biggest point I can leave you guys with.
I'll say this though. Knicks have Walt Perrin right now,
Mhm.
who's had a pretty good track record of picking guys. He's in there in the draft room with these guys. We just got Johnny Bryant, like I talked about a minute ago, another Utah guy. These Utah guys are good at developing, as we've seen before. So if the Knicks pick this guy, I'm going